So market actually caught a bid yesterday. I was having trouble in the morning at 272. While I was off the desk, it actually broke out, topped out at the bottom of this. Just extend this through. So the top prints were here and here. So couldn't really sustain above this. I guess it's around 270, 270, which had been this little consolidation area from Monday. In the morning, support was this one. So we're gapping down a little bit in the pre-market. It's definitely different than if you look at the last 3 or 4 pullbacks after we've rallied in the last few months. After we've seen some initial kind of selling off the top and then we follow with a weekday, we haven't had a strong bid come in the next day. It's usually been sideways or down. So this is definitely different. So we want to pay attention to, does the support area hold from Tuesday morning and yesterday morning, this area right here. If it does, and then we get a close above 272 again, or even preferably above 273, it could be off to the races on the upside. If we catch a bid on the open here and we come back up and we fail here again, then we're just perhaps dealing with a new tight range for the next couple of days.
Carl Schwab, SCHW registry.
Here's IWM. IWM, in fact, broke out through the resistance we've been highlighting, right above 160. And so that looks pretty good for upside, for more upside. As long as, at this point now, as long as IWM is above 160, you really want to be focused on long. If it spikes down on the open, anywhere in this area here, this would be a spot to look to buy it. Buyers in control. All right, Cisco. So Cisco, everything looked pretty in line there, and had a very negative reaction. I did buy a little bit in the flush to 43, popped up 50, 60 cents, sold most of it, have a little bit left. Let's take a quick look at the daily. So this one went pretty steep uptrend from late 2017. And I think they still have about 25 billion left on their stock buyback. So that's going to keep the stock from really going down much further than it is now in the pre-market. I suppose it could work its way towards the bottom of this consolidation range, closer to 40. But to get there, it's got to take out this recent spike low from late April, which was 42.75. And so what we really need to see on the open, right now it's right about here. We'd have to see some weakness on the open and kind of slice through this area. That would bring 42 into play. And any type of, close here or lower, it would bring the April low into play as well. Let's zoom in. So even when Cisco is going to be weak, it has a tendency, it'll get bought on the open. So you might even see something like this. Failure, comes in, moves sideways, gets back down below 43.50, goes and tests 43, and then you kind of see. But the first thing to look at is, on the initial bounce in the after hours, it got about 43.5, and then came back below, and then it held, and then it did a retest, and it came back. And just hasn't been able to hold above there. So that would be the first thing I'd be looking at. So on the open, flush, catches a bit at 43, want to see if it comes up here and fails. If 43 doesn't hold the bid, it's 42.75 is that spike low from April 24th. Let's go to Walmart, WMT. So Walmart, I've already got a script to short it. I didn't see it. It wasn't in the office, actually, when it got up to 88 the first time, but I would have put out a short there. So this thing got crushed. I think it was on the slowing of online sales or something like that. And then really, from a bigger picture perspective, it's been a short ever since. Had this down move, came back up, consolidated, made new lows, and it continued to just move sideways. Never really has had a close back above $90, so sellers have been in control. And recently, I forget what this news was, but they crushed it down to the low 80s. And so any type of move back up here to where this started from, around $88 is a short. Doesn't mean I can't buy it here and it ends up coming back to the top of this multi-month consolidation. But, bouncing from $81, $82, first thing is to short it into this. In the morning, if it starts to spend time above $88, then you can think more about long side. You can kind of see people shorted it there 88. It came off almost $1.50 from there. Now it's holding above 87.50, so we got pretty clear. This area here starts to hold below, short it, starts to hold above, long it. Although be more cautious on the long side. IMMU. So this was right. So very serious cancer it's dealing with, metastatic breast cancer. I want to show you the daily on this one because when you see good news like that, you want to understand where this stock came from the last couple of years. So this was a $4 or $2 stock, and it was a $4 stock as recently as a year ago. And you can kind of see on the way up, it's had some pretty nasty down moves. It got up to 14, looked like a good breakout here, and then came all the way back down to below 9. Tested this breakout at 9.30. Notice it broke out again from $14 or $15, went up to 18.5, and came down and retested this breakout area twice. So it's in a very strong uptrend, but now the size of the moves on a percentage basis are so big the last year that you're just seeing some pretty tremendous pullbacks before higher legs. I guess between 18 and 14 now, since the beginning of the year, it broke out above that recently. I should say right now it's breaking out. I think we looked at it. There was some good news here. It gapped up and it failed at 19.5. Came right back down to 18.5. Now it's gapping up again. So there is a tendency here on this one to gap up and get hit. You see I put on the sheet no resistance, and in terms of volume, it's only done 34,000 shares. So we don't really have a lot of information. It could be a complete rug pull when the market opens if any sellers come in. What do we have for support? 19.5. Which I put on the sheet, and then 18. So this is going to be a situation where it's first ticks. If first ticks is down, something like this, it can't get back above 21, and it may just go right to 1950. It catches a bit on the open. If first leg is up, kind of what we've been talking about lately, if the first move is up, goes up $1 or $2 into the low 20s, and we'll watch the pullback into pre-market, where it's been trading in the pre-market. And if it holds here, good long. Now I had to decide between IMMU and JNC, and I chose IMMU. ACXN. So this one got killed recently. It went all the way down to, went from 28 19. I don't remember if I tried to buy it. I don't remember what the news was. About a month and a half ago. It had a pretty big bounce, made a higher low a couple days later. And since then, it's been accumulated. Now they come out and they guide down 9% for next year. So that was the news on this, right? Yeah. So really the question becomes, it's gapping down to this area where it's been support for the last few weeks. If this doesn't hold here, do you just get a lot of these people who recently got involved? And it has a history of going down to, there was a $22, $23 stock back in late March, early April. So that's my thought there. It's another one where we don't have any pre-market volume really to judge how serious the selling would be here. But it is down about 8% in line with next year's guidance down. The first thing I'd be looking for, does it pop on the open? Is there real selling here at 26? And does it start to come up shorted? What you want to see, though, is you just play it for move back down to 25. But if it actually you're short from here and it comes down and it really relatively easily gets through 25, then you can start to think about the bigger move all the way down to $23. WWE, I threw this in at the end. The blurb is they could get a triple on their contract, their television contract. So this is one. Let's go to January. Where was it in January? It was a $30 stock. You can see it had already gone up 50% from a few months earlier from there. And now it's gapping up almost to $50. I would say normally when I look at something like this, I would say this is going to be a sell the new situation. So I mean, just look at the chart like this. And it went vertical again. I guess it's possible that people weren't anticipating that they were going to get this big of a television contract. We know what happened. The NBA got that where they tripled their money as well when they did the new deal with ESPN and TNT. I would just watch it. It should do a few million shares today at least. I'm just looking at, let's see. I mean, 2.5 it does when it does some big news. It's done up to 4. If on the open you have alerts up here around $50 and it does something where it comes up hard, like a couple of dollars, and then fails to rally back, you could get one of these where it just keeps on going down for a few days. Again, just based on, just seems like they were starting to really price in some good stuff here. 20 to 40. Now we're basically at 50. And the same thing as I said on the earlier stock in IMMU, which is if it goes straight up on the open into the low 50s and then pulls back and starts to kind of hold the level where it was being bought on the open, then you can think about it having higher prices. Longer term, it does look like a sell the new situation at first glance. And then second days and technicals, Macy's, they were selling on the open. It was holding below 32. When it got it back above, it was pretty clean. I was skeptical until it started to hold really above 32.30. The sellers were in control in the pre-market. First move was down. It did hold whatever this was here. I'm not sure why I put 31.50 here. Maybe it was something on the daily. It held here. And then it failed at 33 the first time, came off a half a point, but held higher at 32.50. So buyers really in control of this one. So I would say on the open, if it holds anywhere like 32.60, 32.70, and you see it get back above 33.25, this one could easily go to 34, 35 today. The next one is MU. I just shorted this on, it went up $10 over the last week or something. So short-term overbought. It may just happen that it just starts to move sideways, in this area for a couple of days and the trend catches up to it. But if there's some selling pressure, if it fails to get back above, let's say 56.5, and then you see it get below 56, like this, play it for a move. First spot would be here, 55.60, and then I would, a real pullback, kind of like Facebook did the last few days from 189 to, what was it, 183? Something like the equivalent of this one would be like a move to back down here. Boot. So Boot, the sellers were pretty much in control of this one all day yesterday. It did try to bounce middle of the day. You can see first move was down, second move took it to 24.30. I don't know what this was about here. Maybe they were on a conference call or something. Hard spike up. I'm sure people were buying into 25 here, and then it broke to the downside. And then this is pretty much impossible. I'm glad I stayed away. But big picture, it did actually hold the gap. You know, it did close above the initial after reaction high. So I would say if it started to spend time above 25 this morning, I would look at it on the long side, right there. I wouldn't risk more than 20 cents on it though. I don't remember. It was a close call, JNC and the Mu, and then Baba. Baba's actually been pretty good. 194 worked on a buy 2 out of the last 4 days, I think. So I missed the initial breakout wherever it was here or something. And then on this pullback, I bought, I think it was this day here I bought, right here on the wick on the open. And it bounced like a few dollars real quickly, but then it closed so weak that I was like, oh, this sucks. And the next day it went straight up. I didn't short it into 200. And then it came back down again into 94 on Tuesday, and I didn't have an alert down there to buy it back. And it caught a bid again, and then it popped up again, and I think I called it out on the desk yesterday when it got close to where it failed the prior 2 days, and it failed again. Not as weak. This is just kind of what Baba does. Like Baba, it could be 210 in like a couple of weeks, but it has these levels, resistance levels, and it just has the nastiest pullbacks from them. And buying the nasty pullbacks usually works. And so it's really like 194 to 195 now. I would say if it spent today, very quickly on the open, it got above 98. It's the 4th time up there in 4 days. Yeah, it's a good chance it could break out.
Hope you enjoyed that video. You can actually watch that video if you're subscribed to our Trader 90 before the market even opens. What stocks are in play? What levels in those stocks are important? And how we might go about attacking that stock. That's Steve Spencer, 20-year veteran trader, laying it out there every morning before the market even opens. A really, really powerful tool to start your session off on the right foot. So right now we're offering a trial that you can take advantage of to access this meeting and other meetings throughout the day. We have a meeting at 11 a.m. Eastern where you can sit down with Mike Bellafiore and listen to him talk about what's going on during the morning session, what stocks were in play, what the best trade opportunities were, as well as maybe some things that we're looking at heading into the afternoon session. So I really encourage you to take advantage of that trial.